Hello everybody and welcome back to the Border Corner. I wanted to start off today's video by thanking everybody for your continued support. I've had more folks subscribing to the channel. The likes of the videos I've done so far have been pretty high, which is really encouraging. I've had lots of messages of support on Facebook, Messenger, email. I've had quite a few comments on the videos themselves on YouTube, so big thank you for all of that, and it's nice to know that what I'm doing is being liked and you guys want to see more, so I'm going to keep going. So this week in the bird room I've finished off trimming the hens. The last couple of videos have been focusing on what you actually do when you trim the hens. It's not something that I've enjoyed that much, I must admit, but it's all done now. That's 10 hens that I've done. I think it's 10. It's quite surprising the difference between the swelling of the vents on each bird, indicating where they are with regards to breeding condition. They've been doing a lot of paper ripping, the hens. I put newspaper down underneath bedding of gypsy, and that's what's been in the aviary and in all the flight cages as well, and they've pretty much destroyed it. When I put a bath in, I always put an extra sheet of newspaper down on top of the gypsy, so that when the hens bath it doesn't create such a mess. If I'm not quick enough after they've been in the bath, that sheet of newspaper is soon on the floor of the aviary and it's just in shreds. So it's nice to see that the birds are continuing to progress. But the fact that the vents on the birds wasn't as swollen as I was expecting indicates that they're still quite a long way away from where they need to be with condition, which isn't really that much of a surprise. I don't know if you can see this young hen here is trying to get a bath in her water. It's the beginning of the month, 1st of March was yesterday, and I give S76 to all my birds to help control air sac mite. I think it also helps with northern mite and red mite as well, but I don't know how good it is at that. So I always give frontline as well, so that's an extra bit of belt and braces, if you like. So I don't put baths on when I'm giving S76 because I want to make sure any liquid they drink is just going to be with the medication in. So that's why I've got hens like this one who's trying to have a little bath in her drinker. So as you know, I've got the early stages of setting up an allied line. This is the blue hen that I've had for some time, and I've got the allied line on the top part of my breeding cages. That consists of the blue hen along with the variegated cock, and then it goes over including the variegated blue and white cock and a clear yellow hen. So these two are what I'm hoping will give me some clear whites with any luck. Obviously any allied bird is going to be good in this pairing, particularly hoping for a clear though. And then over here with this blue hen and this yellow variegated cock, I've also got a 3 parts dark hen. Now while she's not going to be producing anything on the allied line, I've decided to pair her to that variegated yellow cock. So because of that, I've got them all together, so I'm getting them all used to the same egg food. As I mentioned previously, I don't want, or rather I do want to have a specific white-based egg food to give to the allied line, to try and get some really nice white feathered birds. But I thought that 3 parts dark hen would make a good match for this cockbird. Oops, sorry about the jiggling of the camera. So I'm hoping that this guy paired to this 3 parts dark hen will give me some good youngsters as well. So that's why she's included in my top line, which is my allied line. I took all the hens out of the aviary as part of the process of trimming, and I caught them up into one of the big flight cages, and then I've taken each one individually and trimmed it and then placed it into its relevant breeding cage. So it seems a bit strange now that suddenly the aviary is now empty. It'll be cleaned out in the next day or two. But where we've been used to seeing the birds flying around in there for the last 3 or 4 months, it's strange having nothing in there now, so that'll take some getting used to. So one of the things I'm going to do today is I'm going to put the nest pans on the outside of the cage of all my hens. This has been advice I've been given by a number of breeders that have told me that it can come as a shock to young hens, particularly when a nest pan suddenly arrives in their cage. So in order to get them used to it well in advance, it's a good idea to hang the nest pans on the outside of the cages. So this is a speeded up version of me doing that. It's a bit boring, so you won't want to watch me doing it individually. So here we go, speeding up. And that's it all done. As we're now into March, the diet has increased a little bit again, or say it's improved a little bit again. Everything extra is 3 days a week now. So the cocks get their hemp 3 days a week. The hens will have Niger 3 days a week. The soft food egg food mix will be given 3 days a week, and conditioning seed 3 days a week as well. I'll also be giving young dandelion leaves once a week as well for the birds. This is one of nature's great conditioning seeds, as I understand it. Great conditioning foods, as I understand it. So this will be a really good thing to start putting in the cages, and will aid with their progression towards my planned pairing date of the 1st of April. That being said, if any of the birds are ready before then, I will obviously be looking to pair them up, but my expectation is that it will be on or around the 1st of April. The other thing with the soft food, I increased the wheat germ oil now to 2 drops per bird for each offering of soft food. So they're getting a little bit more of that, and I believe it's the vitamin E content within wheat germ oil, which is really good for the birds with regards to conditioning and helping with fertility. So they're getting plenty of that from now on as well. Well, that's it for this week, folks. Thanks again for watching. I hope you're enjoying the videos that I'm putting out. I'm up to nearly 200 subscribers, so please carry on liking and subscribing. If I can go over 200, I'll be amazed. So thanks very much. There'll be a few changes next time. I'm having a new floor put down. Finally getting rid of this walking on this horrible OSB board. It's been okay for the most part, but when I come in and out of the shed and I've got moisture on my feet, what happens is that moisture is soaking into the OS board and it's lifting the fibres ever so slightly. So it's making it quite tricky to keep clean. And with me being disabled, I can't exert enough pressure on the brush to sweep it as thoroughly as I'd like to. So I'm having some vinyl put down, and I'm sure that'll make a huge difference. So it'll also be really beneficial in the summer when it's breeding time, as I can keep the humidity up, which will help with the eggs hatching. I don't want any dead in shell through lack of humidity. So I'll be able to wet the floor down, mop the floor, leave it damp, and then with the warmth in the room, it'll increase the humidity, and hopefully it'll help those chicks get out of their shell. So there'll be another change. Hopefully I'm going to start working. My son's home from university, so we're going to start and clear out the other end of the bird room, and start to build the cages for the far end. So I'll start showing you some of that progress as that happens as well. But in the meantime, thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm finding out lots of things about this hobby that are brilliant. When you breed your first chick, that's really exciting. When you go to shows, that's really exciting and really enjoyable. You meet lots of new people. The hardest thing is when you come into the room in the morning and you find that one of your birds has died overnight. This has happened a couple of times to me now, and I'm still finding it very difficult. I don't have many birds, so each bird kind of has its own personality, and I'm getting to know them all individually, if that's possible. And you can imagine my disappointment this morning when I've come in and I found this. Yesterday, he was bouncing about in his cage, head out of the pot hole, and I was doing the water and feed, seeing what was going on. Great, looked in good nick. No signs of it being anything wrong with him at all. And I've come in this morning and I found my white cockbird dead on the floor. Obviously I'm upset about losing him, but that gives me a big problem with my plans to develop a white line. Even though with the border canary we're breeding for type, I like to have the variation of colours in the bird room, and I particularly like white border canaries and blue border canaries. So as you know, I had plans to try and develop a specific white line, and losing the cockbird that was going to be the bird that underpins that is really difficult. So I've got to get my thinking cap on and decide what I'm going to do next.